Good evening out there. Today we're going to have a look at Warm Audio's latest recreations of the 1176 compressors. They have the revision A and revision D in mono and stereo versions, and I got the revision D in mono here and the revision A in stereo, and yeah, we're going to take a look together, so stick around. So here at the bottom we have the revision A, so it's WA76A, and the 2 is for it being a stereo version, so it's a dual limiting amplifier. And on the top we have the revision D, WA76D limiting amplifier. Just like on the original vintage 1176, we have the input-output attack release controls, 2012-8-4 in ratio, and we have the meter selections between gain reduction, VU meter 4+8-4, and then yeah, just turn it up. On the original, those are the only controls we have, but on this one we also have a mix knob from wet to dry. Yeah, we have a sidechain filter here from 30 to 300 hertz, so we can bypass like the lower frequencies when we do compression to make it a little bit cleaner and don't have the low frequencies make everything else pump, if that's not what you want. Anyways, yeah, we have on the mono version we can link it with a second unit for stereo. On the stereo version down here we can switch between stereo where the channels work together. I can't remember how I was explaining. The one with the loudest content will determine the compression and stuff for both of them. I think. Don't take my word for it. A and B on the bottom is A and B separate, and AB then is the A channel that dictates what happens to both of them. And we also have a bypass on both versions. We have an input impedance selector between 10,000 Hz and 600 Hz. And over there in the background I have my Hairball Audio 1176. We might do some comparisons, we might not. I'm not sure yet. This is a little bit improvised. Because I really wanted to just go through what I found so far with these and have them here before I put them in the rack. So I have a session I'm working on here with the band Blessings, and we have a simple drum part here with just kick and snare, some cymbals and stuff. So you can try it on the snare. I have it inserted here, the WA76D, the one on the top. So without. With. I like to go pretty hard with compression and then eventually dial it back. In this case we have the mix knob, so we can just keep it snappy and then mix in a little bit of the dry signal. Another thing I found out while working with it is, I guess you all know the all buttoning trick where you push all the ratio buttons at once and you get this insane ratio that can really crush things, and you can use it on room mics and whatever you want to really destroy. But what I don't know if you already knew is that you can combine different other buttons too. Like you have 4, 8, 12, 20, and if you combine 8 and 4, you have 12, which what I have here. And I actually found a quite difference in the sound when using the 8 and 4 combined compared to just using the 12, and I thought it sounded better. Had a bit more body, maybe. We can try it. I'm going to show you. The meter says it's more compression, but it sounds less choked and with more body, but still pretty much what I'm looking for in a snare compression compared to just using the 12. So let's keep it like that. Next is naturally to put the stereo version here on the drum bus. So yeah, I played around a little here. So here I have all the buttons in, but we're gonna take that out. We start on 4 and Rex 100% wet, no sidechain filter. Yeah, here's the difference. Mono version has an external sidechain. They can switch in, use something else to trigger the sidechain. On the stereo version, you only have the frequency sidechain filter where you filter out the low frequencies, and you can either switch it on or off. So I dialed in a pretty like aggressive compression here to bring out the room even more as if it needs more room. And then yeah, again, the mix knob here is really cool to be able to do parallel compression just on the fly. You don't need any fancy setup or extra gear. Yeah, we have the heavy compression. I'll turn this to completely dry, and then we can just mix in a little bit of this heavy compressed signal. How cool is that? That's awesome. It sounds really, really good. Another thing I wanted to try that I did before, hence I had all the ratio buttons pushed, is that I have this little thing I just usually put on this Sound Toys Devil Lock to bring in some character and extra snappiness sort of to the drums. So you can listen to what that sounds like. Let's try to recreate this with the Warm Audio WA76A2. So we need to really crush this since the Devil Lock has a pretty crushed signal. So let's start with all the buttons in. See if I can do it without turning the whole thing down. And there we go. We go full wet. To begin with, I think I was going to start with really fast attack and release to really crush all the dynamics and just push it down. Yeah. Okay, that feels more familiar. Like I have everything crushed, but you still get a little bit of that initial transient coming through. So that's why I slow down the attack, keeping the release really fast. But then we're gonna try to mix this in with the mix knob. Start with dry, go more wet. Okay, so here we have the WA76 version of this, just putting in some really crushed, fucked up signal. So first we have the complete dry drum mix. It's cool. It's close to a degree, but I'm missing that snappiness that comes through in the devil lock. So this is maybe not something I will use this for when mixing in a hybrid setup. Then I can just use the devil lock. Or if I'm mixing something completely out of the box, then this can be very useful. I mean, I can EQ up and put some transient stuff on it to make it more similar, but I think the overall character is in the ballpark. Just that little snappiness that I don't get. Another thing I want to try this on too is the room mics. On this recording, I have two pair of room mics. One that are more close room, and the one that I call ambient mics, which are the what I called periscope microphones that are already compressed within themselves. Regular room mic sounds like this. And the ambient mic sounds like this. Ambient mics are in a different room that are more reverberant in itself. But what I wanted to try is to put the WA76 on the regular room mics and get sort of a similar effect. So we're gonna mute the ambient. We'll take this. So here we have the drums with only overheads and close mics. Ambient mics. We're gonna try mixing in the regular room mics crushed with the WA76. Take down a little top end. Another thing with the ambient mics is that they are further away from the drums, so we can try and put some delay on the room mics. Let's try 50. 50 milliseconds. That's not bad. That's really, really good. I mean, if I had the mics in the same room as the Periscope mics, that would work really good. So, as I said, with all buttons in on the ratio, you can really crush room mics with this. It's perfect for that. Let's first look at the Warm Audio WA76s. They have the Class D and Class A in both mono and stereo versions on both. So you can check them out. I have a link in the description. Really happy with them so far. There will be more videos coming out with them. I promise you that. I will try to come up with some inspirational stuff because I think most of you already know how and where to use such a compressor. But there are some cool things you can do. So stay tuned. Subscribe if you haven't, and push the notification bell so you don't miss when I upload. And yeah, next week I will be at the NAMM show in Anaheim outside of Los Angeles. So if you're there and you see me, feel free to come up and say hi. I like to nerd out with like-minded people. So, and yeah, that's why we're there, of course. Yeah, so see you next time. Bye-bye. Cheers.